thank you for your friendship and support and for all that the IAF does day in and day out for the firefighters of our country and what the firefighters do for all the people of our country. And I just want to, again, emphasize the importance that the IAF has down here in Washington as far as bringing issues to our attention, letting us know what's important, letting us know what has to be done, what should be done, alerting us when things are going bad, and how we have to step in. So I want to thank Harold for that and thank all of you. Thank all of you for being down here, and thank you for the job that you do, again, day in and day out. I was a little bit late in coming here because we had a news conference over on Capitol Hill with Jon Stewart and with the UFOA from New York. Gerard and Jake were there because there is an attempt right now to, I think, dismantle and hurt and damage the 9/11 Healthcare Act, the World Trade Center Act, the Zadroga Act. This is a bill, legislation, which was absolutely essential. Harold was in the trenches with us over the years. It took us almost 8 years to get that bill through. And for those of us in New York, those of us who knew firefighters and police officers, emergency service workers, construction workers, and the horrible illnesses that they have suffered, the rare, debilitating type illnesses, people cut down the prime of life. And it's so essential that this health care be there for them. Many of them had symptoms which good doctors could not diagnose. They didn't know what was coming. These were such rare type illnesses and diseases. So now it's all been coordinated, it's consolidated. The program is working. We enacted it in 2010. In 2015, we reauthorized it for another 75 years. And I figured I'd come back in 75 years if there was another fight that we had to have. I didn't expect that in this year's budget, the budget director, Mick Mulvaney, would actually have something tucked away and snuck in there, which in effect is going to terribly weaken the program by taking it out of NIOSH and putting it in NIH. That sounds like bureaucratic talk. The reality is it takes the program away from the skilled professionals that have been administering it all along. And this is so unique for a federal program. I have not heard one complaint. I have not heard of $1 being spent improperly. I have not heard of anyone not getting proper care. I've not heard of any inefficiencies or negligence. It's a program that's working perfectly for the people in need of the most, the people that were on the front lines during and after 9/11. So I pledge to you we will do all we can to defeat this proposal, to make sure that program goes forward, and that the men and women who, and particularly firefighters, they were unfortunately the overwhelming number of fatalities and casualties after 9/11, on and after 9/11 were firefighters, because they showed that courage in going into the building, going to the buildings, into the towers, and then refusing to leave, staying there for months and months and months in that whole recovery period. And now so many of them have these horrible illnesses, and we have to fight and do all we can to make sure that that program stays intact and those men and women get the care that they need and deserve. And I also want to tell you how hard we have to fight to make sure that the fire and safer grants are continued, because after 9/11, apart from the great work that firefighters have always done, in many ways you became our first line of defense against homeland attacks. It's essential that, I see this in New York, I know with the FDNY, what an integral part they are of the whole Homeland Security apparatus that's been set up. They are frontline soldiers. We have to make sure that you get the gear, you get the technology, you get the equipment, you get the training, and you get everything that's needed to make sure that you can do the job, we ask you to do, and you get the training, the equipment, and the ability to carry that out. So those also programs we have to fight to maintain. Also, I have to say, on a personal level, I'm always surprised that Harold allows me to speak here, knowing that my father was a cop, and I know that first time I met Harold was, oh, you're cops, they're the guys that can't pass the test, and they, you know.
5 more points.
And so, but seriously, coming from New York, and I know there's great fire departments all over the country and police departments, but seeing in New York, see the way these men and women put their lives on the line day in and day out, knowing what you do, I pledge to you, so long as I'm in Congress, I will do all that I can, and I'm going to start doing that now, because having gone to so many firefighter events, in fact, every month I try to go, there's retired firefighters on the 4th Friday of every month, or the last Friday of each month. It's the retired Brooklyn firefighters get together on Long Island, and they have a breakfast, and usually they get well over 100 guys there. In typical firefighters event, they stay there and insult each other the whole time. You wonder why they come. All they do is go back and forth with the jabs and the jibes. But it's great being with them. But one thing I've learned, I always get asked to speak. If I go more than 2 minutes, they're throwing eggs and tomatoes at me. So I am going to cut it short by just telling you that I could speak all day, saying what an honor it is for me to be here, but I'm going to pay you the ultimate honor by not giving a long speech, letting you go, enjoy yourselves, have a great time while you're down here, and thank you so much for what you do for our country. Thank you for what you do, putting your lives on the line, and always there, and never, ever refusing to do or not doing what has to be done. Thank God for you. God bless America. And Harold, thank you for your friendship and support. Thank you very much.